Okay, so I'm going to see if I can do this video in portions. So just want to start out by showing that I'm rebuilding. I had a problem with my fuel injectors, and this one was doing just fine. It had a nice even spray down here, and this one was spitting, and so it's causing my car to eventually start backfiring and so on. So what I did is I went to the junkyard, and instead of paying either $100 or sometimes half that much for a fuel injector, brand new fuel injector, I pulled one out of some old vehicles in hopes that these were firing properly. So I pulled this one is old. So I took apart the entire throttle body and rebuilt it, and put it back together. It's actually pretty simple. You just have to be very careful. You need to get the rebuild kit. It's about $25 at AutoZone or wherever. And you just take it apart and use some toothbrush and some carb cleaner or brake cleaner, and you clean it up. Okay, and it comes out nice and shiny like this. This thing was totally gummed up. These seals were literally crumbling apart, so you know that there was gas leaking everywhere, and it was just all black and gummed up and everything. So I use a razor blade to scrape everything off and get it really nice and clean. Use a little steel brush, a mild steel brush, and brushed it up and just made everything all smooth and nice and clean. And then I put it back together. This part back here where you see the red gasket, that was a little difficult because there's a spring under here, in the back here. See if I can show you. It's right here. This thing has a spring, and you have to clamp that down while you're putting this back together, and that's a little trick that they don't tell you about. You have to just be very, very careful and methodical about it. Squeeze it back together. Make sure that all of the gaskets are connecting all the way around. There's several points that it has to connect in here, and then you squeeze it together. Finally, I use vice grips, and then you screw it back together. So we're at this point where everything is put back together, and here's one other thing you need to know. It's back here where the fuel lines connect. This fuel line, and then this little booger right here. What happened was you have two bolts on this. One goes directly into the throttle body, and this bolt right here, this screw, you need to hold on to the upper bolt while you're loosening this bolt. And my inexperience caused me on this one over here, same kind of bolt on this side that goes into the throttle body right over here. Well, on this one, I just started cranking at the bolt, and as soon as it loosened up, I thought I was doing the right thing, and I kept cranking on it, and lo and behold, it came loose. And so this part that goes into the throttle body onto the bigger bolt, it came apart right here, and the blood just drained from my face because now I have an issue with my fuel delivery system. This one goes all the way back to the fuel filter that rests underneath the car, and it'd be a real pain in the ass. But by doing some research, I found that you could take the end of this one, which I went to the scrapyard and I got a couple of these, pulled a couple of these off a car, and didn't pay a penny for them. Actually, didn't have to pay anything for them because they're like a meaningless piece, and they don't even have a price for it unless you pull out the entire fuel line. So I grabbed a couple of these, so I get a couple of chances to put this back together. What it consists of is this piece along with a pipe cutter, little $5 whatever pipe cutter, and this is the coupling. Okay, that's I want to say a 5/16 coupling, female to female, and so this is going to join those two back together, and I'll have a complete fuel line again without a lot of hassle. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to stop this right now, and this is the last piece that I need to do before I start the car, and see if I did a good job. Totally amateur, but I've put in every electronic component I've replaced in this car. I think that's throttle position sensor and this thing here, and just about everything in here has been totally replaced. The spark plugs and everything back here, the distributor cap and rotor, all redone. And the car's running really, really great, with the exception of this little booger right here. And so the deal is since you have to take this apart to get to the fuel injector with all these little screws right here, you might as well get the rebuild kit and rebuild it. And you're saving yourself hundreds of dollars, by the way, by doing this yourself. $30 rebuild kit. If you want to, just go for it and buy a brand new fuel injector, you can replace both of these for about 50 bucks each. 1 year warranty. Even a rebuilt one is about $50, or you can pay 100 bucks for each one. That's about 200 bucks. If that's in your budget, that's the easy way. I like a little challenge. I'm going to see if it works this way. The worst thing that can happen is that these don't work, not spraying evenly, and I just have to pop these screws off and put in brand new ones, and I'm right back in business again. If I succeed, I save myself a ton of money, right? So go buy my wife dinner or something, I don't know. So there you go, guys. I'll see you in a bit. I'll send another video and see if this baby starts up after I get done. Okay, talk to you later.